I'm here to talk today about some of the information you will need to gather if you've recently lost a loved one. First, please accept my condolences for your loss. This is undoubtedly a difficult time that is fraught with grief and emotion and family dynamics. And it is nearly impossible to make decisions and to administer someone's estate with this mindset of grief and sadness. I hope my conversation today can help get you started in some of the information that you'll need to gather before you open an estate, and so that you can use my talk today as a checklist. We have actually created a checklist for this exact situation, and if you would like a copy of one, please feel free to reach out to me. You can see my contact information in my newsletter below. After someone passes away, oftentimes my clients who are left behind will find themselves in the untenable situation of searching through documents, trying to piece together a financial picture, and trying to sort through a host of just paperwork intensive issues that can be overwhelming. The first step is to begin to put together a spreadsheet of information that will guide you through the entire estate administration process. So the first item that you should be looking for is a valid last will and testament or a revocable living trust among the deceased person's financial paperwork or files. If you don't see one among their files, you can try searching or contacting an attorney that you know they may have used. You can also try contacting the county for where they lived or the Register of Wills office, depending on your jurisdiction, to see if there's been a will put on file or on record for them. Not every jurisdiction holds wills, but some of them do. Next, you want to make sure that you have a copy of the individual's death certificate, and you'll want to begin to make a list of their assets. At this stage, you might not know the date of death values, and you might not even be certain that all of these assets still exist. But if you come across any paperwork in the individual's files or mails, just add them to your list so that you can cross them off in an orderly fashion. So you're looking for, ideally, where the asset is located, what financial institution. If the asset has a joint beneficiary or a joint owner, if the asset has a joint owner or a beneficiary, the approximate value of the asset, and if you can find it, the statement covering the date of death. You also want to begin to make a list of any outstanding debts owed. This is very typically last credit card payments or utility expenses for a house, and often the medical expenses for a final illness. And again, make a list of those to the best of your ability. Make a list including the date that payments might be due and any outstanding amount that you can see so far on the statements that you have. You also might want to start looking for tax returns. Old tax returns can be a clue to any outstanding assets that might exist that you may not be aware of, or at the very least will be a help in starting the tax returns for the estate and the final tax return for the decedent. You also want to gather a list of heirs' addresses or legatees' addresses. So the legatees are any individuals that are named in the will. You'll want their name and their address if you can find it or locate it. And heirs are those folks that would have inherited from the estate if the individual died without a last will and testament. Those are your lineal bloodlines. For an individual that died while he was married, that would be a spouse. A spouse and maybe children. It could be grandchildren if a child has predeceased. It could be parents if they're still living, or siblings or their children, depending on the specific family dynamics of the person that passed away. As you're going through their paperwork, this is the information that we will need to open an estate in many scenarios, but it's a good start for you to begin to organize yourself in this way for what is an otherwise, or what can be an otherwise overwhelming and paperwork intensive process. Again, please accept my condolences if you've recently lost someone, and know that if you need assistance in this process, you can always reach out to us and we'd be happy to answer any questions or help guide you through the process.